Hey guys and girls, Mark from Gunpla Network here. Today we have the fabulous, the gorgeous, the super shiny MG Epyon Gundam Special Coating, courtesy of Side 7 Exports. Please check out their page and grab yourself one of these or many other Gundam base or P-Bandai exclusives, and don't forget to use our discount code. Firstly, as always, let's take a look at the inner frame. This was an interesting build. Much like the MG Jester had a hidden leg function, this was similar with an extending joint system, but that was to allow for the dragon heads to be able to manipulate on a neck, I guess, in mobile armor mode. And it's a gorgeous frame to boot. A little recoloring here and there, this would look just as spectacular as the outer armor. Fully armored up without any of the accessories, this thing just oozes sexiness. The depth and shine of the armor is something you have to see in person, and I don't think I could ever paint anything this good. But the rest of the kit is just as nice, with that nice dark navy blue, the gold, and kind of a silvery blue. Fits right in with the rest of it. Although I would say if you're a painter, which I think I will do, those dark blue bits would look great in a matte black. Alright, here he is with pretty much everything. Well, mostly everything. If you add the wings, the sword, the shield, and the whip, it brings back memory of the anime. It's a monster of a kit and would look great taking on Wing Zero in your display. Looking down from above, this thing just looks epic. It's got so much shelf presence, even more so if you have it up on an action base like I currently do now in my shelf. Alrighty, this is everything broken down into what you get. Let's dive in and take a look at each accessory. You get 2 action base adapters. This one is for when it's in mobile armor mode, and that's attached underneath as well as the backpack. And this one is just for when it's in mobile suit mode. It goes from directly underneath. There's your Zechs Merquise or Milliardo Peacecraft by this point. You get a few different hand options, and these are the standard Wing EW hands. So they clip in to the palm and the thumb, which is movable. If we zoom in, there we go. You get 2 close-fisted hands. You've already seen the open hands, which are on the kit. And there's Milliardo again, hopefully you can see him a bit better. And you get 2 holding hands, which would hold the... I thought it was for shield handle, but it's actually 2 holding hands with a peg in them, and it's literally just for the sword. Speaking of the sword, here it is on its extendable, flexible cable on the mount for the side skirt. And just be careful, you can twist and move that base piece, but I have read it can break. And you also get the huge effect part. This thing is awesome. It is like half or 3/4 the size of the kit. It is super long. It rivals the Sazabi pieces. Alright. There, and that's what I mean. That peg goes into the side skirt. I guess you could mount it either side, but it goes on the right. The shield. The shield has a piece of the, I guess, plated coating as well. You can see down the spine there, nubs, nubs, nubs everywhere. These pieces are horrific to put together. I've got Torghese 3 to go, so hopefully they'll look a bit better on the white, but there's your 2 different action base, arm adapters there. This is flexible. Now, there is no cable running through this. It is all kind of just pegged into one to another. There's 10 different sections you assemble. 3 pieces per, so you're looking at 30 pieces to assemble the heat rod whip. Alright, the backpack. This thing is gigantic. It's bigger than the kit itself. Super, super shiny. Have gloves and a microfiber cloth on hand if you touch it. So you can see everything, like my lights camera, it's all reflecting in here. There is a pretty good amount of movement in this kit, like these pieces rotate, this piece goes up this way. They don't really turn, unfortunately, but you can kind of like do that as you do it. Now, the gimmick. The gimmick is awesome, but you got to be careful. It pulls out, but wearing gloves, this was pretty difficult. Because obviously the plating. I'm trying to grab the blue parts and it just hasn't helped at all. I actually snapped one of the internal parts. It's all kind of like linked together. When you assemble it, you layer it, and then when you pull, it forces the bits to flip open, which isn't going my way on this right hand side of the wing. Yeah, try the other side. Alright, if I can get it open, you'll see this just kind of flicks up and out, and there you go. Okay, so I mean, I guess you could open it up in mobile suit mode like that, but I think that's more of the dragon effect part, I guess. And if you just push carefully, they snap back into place. Kind of like the Torgeese wings. There is a few other bits and pieces. The verniers move, the side fins on the backpack move. It can fold in, fold down, and it's just, you know, for such a huge backpack, it's got a great amount of articulation. This glorious beast of a mobile suit is just too awesome for words. I had a great time building it. Yes, the special coating, it is a bit tedious trying to clean nub marks, but well worth it in the end just for the shelf presence. If we're talking about appearance and articulation, well, look, there are a few stickers. So, on the chest, the green piece there is actually a green sticker underneath a clear piece. Now, I feel like Bandai would have been better served by making it a silver sticker under a clear green piece, but, you know, if you paint, that's something you can do. The silvery blue is nice. Yeah, then a few places, the dark blue. There's some stickers apart from the eye up top. There's the on the feet, because when you assemble that, they become the dragon heads in mobile armor mode. Now, for the articulation, the head's pretty good with some up and down, and this is surprisingly good for a 10, 11-year-old kit now, the articulation on this thing. And you can turn it around. Not sure why you need to ever, but you can. There's a couple of grey bits on the back. Show through. It's got a very interesting head. It won me over when I built it. I was a bit unsure at first, but it looks pretty good. Now, the arms, and we'll just talk about a couple of things there. Like, on top, there's a nub there. On the inside of the shoulder bits, there's nubs. On the forearms, there's nubs. Ankles, there's nubs. There's nubs everywhere on this kit. Nub, 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 nub. Alright, the arms can spin all the way around. If you move the shoulder armor up, which is part of the transformation, it can go all the way up, which is pretty good. And you can pull the arm all the way forward out for some reaching poses, but it will pop off if you're not careful because, you know, it's got that mechanical look to it. It is just a peg though, so it will slide off. But simple fix, just reposition the shoulder armor, the arm, and slide it back on. Now, the arm can go pretty good anyway, parallel without moving the shoulder piece. It'll spin on the peg, and if you fold it up, it gets a decent elbow bend. On the hands, they are just the usual kind of ball joint into the wrist, and standard EW hands, which is 4 and a thumb. And you change out the front 4 for whichever look you're going for. The waist has some movement, but I'm not sure if that'll help it later in life. But for now, it's pretty good. Now, if I just grab something to help me out here, tweezers, you can actually open up the cockpit, and there is a nub on the front of the cockpit in that yellow gold. And you gotta look way up there, but there is the minifigure of Zechs or Miliardo in there. So, kind of, I think it's a little bit further back than the rest of with the way the cockpit's built out, than the rest of the EW kits, so you won't be seeing it even if you left it open on your shelf without shining a light up there. Side skirts, that's the peg for the sword piece as we discussed. That just clips in there. Now, the side skirts are pretty good. They stayed on most of the time, didn't really come off. The front skirt is pretty stiff and will pop off. It's just a ball joint. Clip that back on. The front crotch cover moves a little too. I think it's just part and parcel for the transformation. The back skirts actually move a lot, but that's their part of the transformation. They open right up. And there isn't much of a back butt cover to kind of talk about apart from the skirts. The legs. The legs move a pretty decent amount for as bulky as they are. So all the way up there. And a little bit of like, kind of, it's almost like shin movement because of that double joint. You get the fins on the front will move. That side blue fin doesn't. The legs will go back, but will hit the huge back skirts. It will rotate on its peg at top there. And then the feet actually get a really good amount of being able to close them up on themselves and move them out. But that's because of the transformation, so keep that in mind. Grab the backpack, and if you push that onto the back, it just clips on in. Now you can use the wings, much like Wing Gundam when I first put it in my display cabinet. If you're going to stand him, you can actually use the wings as a back support. They'll touch the ground. Or if you're going to put it up on an action base, flick them outwards. You need a lot of space in your display. This thing is huge. Time to get this guy airborne, and I highly recommend getting an action base 1, 4 or 5, one of those bigger ones, to get him up there, because you can get some great poses with the wings, the sword and the whip, but he is going to take up that space like I said. Here it is with the Wing Gundam EW, and if we grab my ruler, they're currently sitting between the 18 and 20 centimeter. Now, there is kind of that 15 and a half and 18 centimeter. There is that kind of like 1.5 to 2 centimeter difference. Epyon is just that much taller than the Wing EW. I wish I had a Wing Zero to compare. Unfortunately, I don't, so. Now, this is the part I was dreading. The transformation. Cue the music and mishaps. That was definitely not easy on camera. But once you're done, you get MA mode or Mobile Armor mode, Dragon mode, whatever you want to call it. This thing is beast level. The dragon heads look great with that kind of green sticker in for the eyes. It doesn't look terrible considering you had to, open up his butt flaps and flip the legs over to get it going. Once you've done it once, I can safely say now I transformed this back to MS mode, and it was much easier the second time around. Looking down from above and from the side, definitely a great view. So if you're going to have this in your cabinet, yeah, grab it up on a stand, but don't have it too high, because when you look from below, it just doesn't look as good. You can see the sword under the tail. I guess you could take that off and leave it out, but I feel like the sword's actually helping hold the tail up a little bit. And then you can see the head and the chest. It just kind of ruins the look of it. Well, that's it for me. I would say if you're a fan of Wing, to get this kit. If you're a fan of transforming suits, get this kit. If you like shiny things, get this kit. It has nubs you cannot avoid in the ankle armor, shoulders, cockpit, arms, and it'll leave a mark on the coating no matter what you do, but the coating is awesome. It's justified. It won't show at a distance, and I do not care. I love this thing on my display right now. Thanks to Side 7 Exports. Check out the link below for your own epic Epyon, and keep on building.